Hello, this is Cuckoo, and I'm in the outskirts of Oslo in Norway, in a place called Drammen. And I'm here with Rune of a company called NNNN.
Yeah.
4 N's.
We usually say just the N company.
So we call them N,
Yeah.
and if you look at all the letters N, it kind of looks like a sawtooth waveform or something like
Yeah.
that.
And if you change the font, then you can get like more like a sinus.
Yeah, Rune is probably a total nerd when it comes to sound and has a great history working with sound and, as you can see behind me, loudspeakers. Tell me a little bit about what you do and why you decided to make your own company, making your own monitors
Yeah.
and speakers.
I started back in '89
Yeah.
making speakers with my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
And then I discovered if I have a larger box, I get deeper and more bass.
Yeah.
And then I started as a DJ and live sound engineer. And some of the speakers that I had at home, they had this amazing deep bass. Like you could play hip hop and EDM music with very low notes.
Oh, yeah.
But as a DJ, I had a system that played much louder, but they didn't have this kind of low end.
Yeah.
So, okay, I started making some big horns, and I got that low end, but I couldn't move them around.
Yeah.
But the large horns, they could be like a benchmark for how the sound quality should be.
Yeah.
And so I've been testing the folded mobile horns together with the full-size bass horns and tweaked until I got the sound quality and signature sound very similar from a studio to a large concert.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some stuff in the back where you have stuff that is made for bigger venues and also down to stuff that's maybe designed for meeting rooms, but also for music studios.
Yeah.
So the whole range.
Yeah, whole range. And as a DJ, I've been moving around big boxes for lots of years.
Yeah.
So this small system here, it's something you can have in a normal car and still play pretty loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't break your back.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. So when did you launch your first commercially available products? Or are they commercially available, or is it more like on demand?
It's commercially available, most of the models. And back in 2020, we had this festival called Bylarm in Norway, where we had our first speakers at the two of the venues there.
Yeah.
And one was outdoor between Rockefeller and Centrum Scene. And 12 days later, everything was closed down with the COVID, and no one wanted such systems for at least 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So take some time.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we started designing these smaller systems.
But then you have kind of changed and molded your company very quickly to adapt to the new situation. And you also, I mean, part of being able to do that quickly is also that you try to build everything as much as possible close to home.
Yeah. So we have all production in Norway. Actually, quite a short trip with a car around us on every side. So cabinet maker is like 2 hours drive, and the metal work is half an hour, and it's 1 hour drive to the assembly site and test site.
Nice. Yeah, I just had a listen to the white ones in particular, because I'm very interested in a smaller system, and it sounded very, very balanced. And then I tried some stuff that I've mastered and that's available on Spotify or whatever, and I was kind of I was very surprised about how low they go. For instance, they go much lower than what I can achieve in my little home, my little studio, and the richness in the bass was kind of blew me away a little bit. And then in the top end, I think you told me that you kind of slanted it a little bit in favor of having a sound that you can work with for a whole day without listening fatigue.
Yeah, and especially if you have a room that is not like one of the Hollywood studios.
Yeah,
Then, because if you have a very well damped room, that's kind of the response you get. But when you have reflections and the high frequencies will build up.
yeah,
So if you shelve them a little bit, then you get this more or less that kind of experience. But only need to do like a medium acoustic work on your room.
yeah, yeah,
So this is things that we worked on in Tandberg and Cisco for video conferencing.
yeah,
So there's a lot of research behind it. And even well-known mastering studios are using kind of that slope to be able to master for like 8-10 hours in
yeah,
one stretch.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I want to try and attempt to do today, which is very, very difficult, is to try and record the different systems that we see here. The white ones, the smaller black ones on the side, the huge tower in the middle, and see what we hear and how close I can get to recording this. We have my Zoom H6 with the XY microphones. It's pretty neutral, I'd say. And this room here is not like an acoustic marvel. It's pretty treated and sounds good. So I'm gonna swap around both the systems and the two mics that I have, and try and I'm gonna play my kind of new high energy digitone music from my live performances a while back, and just see how that FM synthesis sound is going to fare in these different systems. I have only listened to the white ones, and they're really good, but I'm very curious about this huge bass monster, and and preparing to lower the volume probably so that we don't blow away the neighbors. You actually told me a funny thing. You tried one of your biggest bass system a while back to see what it sounds like, and all the car alarms in the whole neighborhood went off. It's pretty powerful if you want to.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And we had to use like 3 circuits to have those 4 subs able to play at the highest level.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. I'm very eager to listen to all of the systems, and hope we can make them justice through the little recording equipment that I have. Okay, let's try it out.
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah. Well, that was an experience, I have to say. Yeah, I could clearly hear different characteristics of the different speaker systems. And you told me that this is a very special collaboration with an artist and creator called Ojazz.
Yes. This is a club system with Ojazz 15-cell multi-cell horn. And we have collaborated to make this mid-bass horn with a 18-inch woofer. And we have the N biggest subwoofers with the dual 21-inch drivers.
Yeah.
So this is a 4-way horn system, and we have put in all the cool things and collaborated in the middle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we kind of set all of these speakers to be at the same level, so we didn't really experience the full potential of this huge system. But yeah, because this can go pretty wild.
Yeah, this is loud.
Yeah.
And the first customer was Public Records in New York.
Oh, nice.
Where Ojazz has several systems. And 2 of these stacks, they are standing outside, and it's amazing. It was really a bad day to come back into the room and have all this room reverberation.
Yeah.
But outdoors, it was so fun. Just want to go back.
Yeah. That's very cool. Congratulations. It looks like a super nice spot.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then let's go with the black towers here on the side.
Yeah.
They have a name.
Yeah.
Don't they?
The top one here is the gauge 60. And it's bass reflex assisted coaxial horn.
Yeah.
So there's a 1-inch tweeter horn that also works as a phasing plug for an 8-inch horn driver. And with the 8-inch, it has an elliptical horn, and same with the tweeter. So it got kind of wide dispersion and less vertical dispersion.
Nice.
And here at the bottom is the Trent 35. And all these numbers, it's the lowest frequency they go down to.
Yeah.
In a useful way.
Yeah.
So this is a transmission line with a 12-inch woofer. So transmission lines, they usually have like 1 octave where they're super efficient and sounding very, very nice. So, but this driver is especially designed together with a French company called PHL Audio.
Yeah.
So it works very well in transmission lines and horns. Most drivers these days, they're tailored to work very well in a bass reflex cabinet. So you actually need a little bit different parameters to make it work in these transmission line designs.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe it favors a little bit of distance from the speakers when you listen to it because of the separation.
Yeah. So when you have this kind of distance and very little overlap, it's if you're going to have like a sweet spot experience,
yeah,
you would probably be seated like in the middle and not in the near field.
Yeah. But I have to say that the white ones here on the side, they were kind of the king of the experience here.
Yeah, these are designed to be used as a studio monitor.
Yeah.
And they're called a Chromium 30.
Yeah.
So they go down to 30 hertz. And they cheat a little bit when you're in a room like this because they're mounted very close to the wall.
Yeah.
So you get no reflection from the rear wall to get the interference and stuff you get from speakers that are not designed in this way.
Mm.
So that's part of why it's working very well in here. And
so you're not as dependent on the room with these kind of wall mounted as with other speakers.
But on the other hand, in this one there's a 5.25-inch custom-made driver from Seas,
Yeah.
together with a 1-inch driver tweeter.
Yeah.
And you have a very long transmission line with a sound muffler for the higher frequencies.
Mm.
So here it almost sounds like a true point source, because the waveguide of the tweeter, we have cut off the part so at the bottom and fitted the woofer very close to the tweeter.
Yeah.
So center distance is really short, and because of the huge baffle, you can cross over the tweeter lower. So they blend together very, very well, and you get this huge soundstage.
I think you can probably see me in the video going like very close and
Yeah.
like going all the way here to listen. And I'm very amazed that it sounds good at any distance, even when very close. It's not like it's becoming unpleasant. It's
And
very
that's
nice.
a very important thing, because in this one, the tweeter and the woofer, they're very close together,
Yeah.
and the transmission line opening is on the bottom here, so it's very close to the woofer. So when you play a true full range sound, and 30 Hz is almost full range, then all the reflections in your room will contain all the frequencies coming back at you at the same time.
Yeah.
So even if you're in the diffuse field of the speakers, you will have like intelligibility, and you can get a good experience. And not a lot of speakers are designed to do that.
Mm. Yeah.
But it's very important when you're like in a meeting room. You need to have good reflections, because they will never have these acoustic cones on the wall and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool. Maybe I'm wondering, and maybe all of you watching probably wonder, where could they reach out to try this stuff out? Is there any places where, any distributors or any you mentioned that place in New York, for instance?
Yeah.
But in terms of distributors and stuff,
I actually even have these Comium speakers in their outdoor area, serving
nice.
area
Yeah.
at the public records.
Yeah.
So when you're eating and drinking, you can sit and listen to those.
Cool. But if they want to buy these, do they go straight to your webpage, or do you have distributors in
We
the world?
have some distributors around the world, and they can of course contact us directly if they don't see any one having the N brand in their country. And of course we have Ojas in New York, and in Norway we have Prolyd, which is a company that do a lot of studio and concert installations.
Mm.
And we have partnered with KMR Audio in the UK.
Yeah.
They have a demo system in their shop. So at least some places, and we're trying to reach out more places as we're going forward.
How do you feel the reception has been, both in terms of customers, but also in terms of the industry?
Yeah, it's haven't been to one of the big trade fairs yet, so we don't know the reception of the other brands in the same business. But we went to a couple of smaller trade shows in Norway, and it has been a good response. And of course, horns and transmission lines are kind of exotic these days. Usually you're able to play a little bit louder with the horns than if you have like a normal closed box or bass reflex.
Yeah. Cool. I think, I'm pretty happy with what I've heard here today. As I said, to my ears, I think the most balanced experience that I had was these flat wall-mounted, and also surprisingly deep bass in these. And you told me that they actually go deeper than the smaller bass.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a small 5.25-inch driver.
Yeah.
transmission line are amplifying the lowest frequencies.
Yeah.
So the small driver doesn't have to move a lot to make quite a good amount of low bass.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for this unique possibility to come here and pick. And best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
I think you just go for it. Beautiful design, beautiful sound.
It's really cool to hear your songs here.
Oh yeah?
And your comments of what they do to your music. I learned from that kind of experiences.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe just as a little short background here in the end, I'm very used to what I'm using in my little studio. It's this size Neumann speakers that sound very nice. And coming from that and listening to these, I could definitely hear that these are pro-grade audio equipment, and it's made to be something of a tool, or something that you can work with for hours and hours and hours. And I could truly hear it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Peace out, everyone.